Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Okay, I have my notes, as in like release date and stuff. We're going to talk about the continuation of this plot, because it is one large story. So, Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter, came out April 13th, 1984. It was directed by Joseph Zito. So this one has Crispin Glover in it. It has Corey Feldman, plays young Tommy Jarvis in this. A bunch of other people are in this. So this takes place right at the end of the third, just as all the other, I was going to say Fast and Furious films. Wow. Just as all of the other Friday, that's the sound I was trying for, Friday the 13th films have started. So the paramedics and the police are arriving to the, lake house and the barn, because Jason just got the axe to his head, causing that dent with the mark on his mask. And so he's pronounced dead. He's taken to Wessex County Morgue, which is a part of Wessex County Hospital. And we get, finally, a location. So Crystal Lake is in Wessex County, still assumed of New Jersey. And so Jason is obviously not dead. He comes back to life. He kills the mortician. He kills a nurse. He takes their bodies away, as he does with all the other victims, and then he goes back to the lake. And at this point now, we are at another lake house, with a lake house next to it, and the Jarvis family lives in this particular lake house, and the other lake house is being rented by 6 kids in their 20s. And so Tommy Jarvis is introduced. Corey Feldman plays a young Tommy Jarvis in this. I don't know how old Corey was in this film. 13, 14, 12? I don't know. And his sister Trish are there with their mom, their dog Cooper, and the 6, kids next door, all paired up and sex, drugs, and rock and roll and skinny dipping galore in the lake. And it's funny watching, Corey's character of Tommy, like the first time he sees a naked girl, like at the lake and, through his bedroom window having sex with the guy. And like, it's like reality TV for him because it's seclusion in a lake house, So he's doing what teenage boys do and trying to figure out sexual exploitations. And so Jason eventually arrives and he kills a hitchhiker and he kills somebody else. But there's someone else who's like camping and hiking around trying to find Jason to kill him because Jason killed his sister, who was one of the victims in the last previous nights. So this is now the third day, basically, of Jason's killing spree. The first day was the 5 years later mark, where that camp was trying to reopen. Jason goes on a killing spree. Then, as those bodies are being taken out, the group of teens and 20-year-olds come to go to that lake house with the barn next to it, which was in the third movie, where Jason gets the axe to his head, where Jason gets the face mask, and the face mask of being his actual, hockey goalie mask, and pronounced dead. And then the fourth one starts at the end, where Jason goes to the morgue, obviously lives, comes back, goes on his killing spree, kills all the 20-year-olds in the house, kills the guy who's looking for his sister, which is interesting because, again, the 2009 remake has Jared Padalecki's character looking for his sister who's disappeared. So the remake of Friday the 13th, now that I'm rewatching them all chronologically, is a culmination of 2, 3, and 4. Like I need to rewatch. I can't wait to rewatch it because I'm going to be like, holy shit! It's all these movies, major plot points in one. I feel like it's a good. It's going to be a good time. I remember liking it when I saw it in the theaters when I was 19 years old because I was 19 in 2009. So yeah, I'm very excited to see it again. So how does this film end? Right. So the hiker guy looking for his sister's killer is killed. Cooper is thrown out a window. Cooper the dog is thrown out a window, dead. Trish lives and Tommy lives, but the only way Tommy lived. Now it's interesting because we had Trish as this final girl, but we also have Tommy as a final boy, and Tommy finds these articles. Tommy makes these awesome masks and like puppetry stuff and like special effects things, and like he that's just a thing. It's his hobby. It's what he does. And he finds these newspaper articles in the hitchhiker's guy, in the camper's guy, I don't know what to call him, who has a machete, backpack of like, killer of Camp Crystal Lake kills this many people and like Jason Voorhees drowned in a lake, in 1957, things like that. And he sees a picture of Jason and he wants to imitate to try to trick Jason. So he shaves his head, he gets all patchy like Jason's head, and he tricks Jason just like, who was it? Alice? Alice did in the first one? No. Ginny did in the second one? Chrissy did in the third one. Ginny. Like Ginny did in the second one, where she puts the sweater on and she pretends that she's his mom. She goes, Jason, kneel down for mommy. That, Tommy did it, but in a, Jason, remember, because he made sure he looked like Jason was when Jason died. And then it gave Trish enough time to grab the machete to try to hit him. And then Jason's trying to attack Trish again. And then Tommy takes the machete and he just smacks Jason right in the head. Chops him clean in half right there, right? And it stops, and then Jason goes down. And then Tommy sees that his fingers are starting to twitch again. So then Tommy just goes on a hacking spree. He's like, poof, 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 die, right? Tommy Jarvis, Corey Feldman, iconic in the horror industry. So it's so cool watching that, and then having the two of them, come together at the end and saying, oh, Jason's finally dead. They're in the hospital. Police are saying, your brother in a moment of rage was just protecting himself in that, attacking the killer. So then this is how Jason dies. Tommy Jarvis is known as killing Jason Voorhees. So how do we go into 5 and 6? Now, in the last few reviews, I've said, the fifth one is my favorite because that's when Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis is in it. But I forgot that Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis is in the fourth. There's a different actor playing Tommy Jarvis in the fifth, and there's a different actor playing Tommy Jarvis in the sixth. Tommy Jarvis ages in 5 and then in 6. I think there's 5 years later until the fifth one, A New Beginning, and then the sixth one is called Jason Lives, I think. And there's another time jump. So we got to pay attention to the time jump. As of right now, we are still in 1985 because the first film was June 13th, 1980, right? And then, because the screen said present day and the film came out in 1980. Then in the second film, the head camp leader is saying, 2 months after the attacks, Alice's body was never found. And then here we are 5 years later, and all has been well with the camp, with the lake. And then that's when Jason starts his killing streak. That next day starts the next killing streak, which is the third film. And then the fourth film is the day after that. So 2, 3, and 4, movie-wise, takes place between 3 different days. It's pretty cool. Now that I'm seeing a timeline, that's pretty cool. I don't think A Nightmare on Elm Street has that much of a linear timeline as this does. I have to pay attention to how everybody talks. But I'm curious. I know the timeline's going to get wonky moving forward, and I'm very curious what's going to happen next, timeline-wise. Because I remember movies, but I don't remember specifics. And I got to pay attention because I got to make notes, and this is why we're talking about it. So we get all of our timelines right. So right now we're still on day 3 of 1985, of whenever this starts. I don't know if it's another Friday the 13th, because the date specifically wasn't referenced. We know it's still summer, but we don't have a specific date. But it's 1985. So let's say summer 1985, Jason Voorhees is killed by Tommy Jarvis. On to movie 5. Mucho mahalo.